new self-awareness. So here are the things that when you join Leadership Africa, that you will have the opportunity to learn. And obviously, as you can see, it's a lot. It is a lot. So all these things now going to require time, okay? So here we'll tell you how it's going to kick off. So we're going to kick it off with 2 days leadership retreat. Now, as you know, we've been hit with this pandemic. So we got to be careful and be very thoughtful about how to go about these things. And that's why we're saying date will be announced soon, because we need to put the logistic to make sure that all the safety measure and logistics are being taken care of. So, but for sure, it's going to be 2 days leadership retreat that we're going to be doing early 2021. So more detailed information to come. And now you're going to have full day workshop once a month. So for 8 months, January to September, that's when you're going to have this workshop. As I share with you about all those things that you're going to gain, and I'd say that it's going to require time. Yes, so for 8 months, we're going to come together once a month to really go through this process. So something for you, if you are interested, mark your calendar. So you're going to integrate personal assessment model one-on-one coaching session. So yes, when we get together, they're going to be one-on-one coaching sessions. So you get to really have that one-on-one coaching, because the key thing with our leadership program, we want to give you the skill set, but we want to create a platform for you to practice, to go about it. And we'll have guest speakers and field trip. So we'll have guest speakers, those things that we are trying to do, people that have done it, that come and show us, and we're going to hear from them. But most importantly, we'll have field trip. In some cases, it could be a project that you are working on. Then you will need to go to different places to see how you're going to implement those process that and workshop and things that you're going to be working on. Now, all these things, we need people to do it. We have some amazing facilitators that's going to be leading this program. And obviously, I won't be able to read the bio, but as you can see, we have Effley Brooks. He's a professor, teacher assistant at Denver University, but extensive background when it comes to leadership, training, and coaching. And please, he has a big heart for the community, but take the time to glance over his bio to learn and know more. And you can find more information about him by visiting our website. And we have Emily Get Life. Emily has traveled around the world. Emily is an American citizen, but Emily spent some time in Senegal, in a lot of different countries in Africa. He speaks French. There's a lot of leadership training around the world. So what Emily brings on the table is she already has the experience of living in other countries and deal with different leadership style based on different culture. So we are very blessed and fortunate to have her, as she will be able to assess and understand some of our leadership style coming from Africa, and how do you merge it into the US system. So those are the 2 facilitators that we're going to have. But again, we will have some guest speakers that we're going to be inviting. Now, again, the application is out. People can go to our website, usalg.org, to submit their application. But as you can see, Friday, October 9th, that we're having this session right now, and hopefully some of you are getting valuable information for this. And now on October 16th, we will be at the office to take calls. If you have any question, so we will be at the African Leadership Group office. So for you to call in, and if you have any question that you would want us to answer, or clarification and things like that. And on Wednesday, October 21st, we'll be doing the financial aid scholarship workshop. So meaning, like, there's a fee to pay for this. Actually, we slide it half, $250. But we are also giving scholarship to people that might, in this current environment, that might not be able to have access to those dollars. So on the 21st, we are doing a session where people can call in and ask additional questions. And also, we're going to be doing individual application. So when you want to walk in, you want some of the staff member to help you with your application, so you can walk in and we will help you. Now, the deadline is November 30th. If you are planning to do this program, please submit your application now. And now we've made a lot of change. The application is a process. It won't take you more than 20 minutes to take the application. So, and in December, we're going to be doing interview. So it doesn't mean that once you apply, you are in. We are doing interviews to go through all this application. So if you are interested, please visit us at usalg.org to visit the website, submit your application, or you can call us and we can help you. So those are the details about the program, as you can see. And now I think the next thing to do now is to introduce our guests that we have. Brian Vogue, a mentor of mine, CEO of the Denver Botanic Garden. And I won't tell you much about the relationship because I want Brian to share with you, you know, the relationship that the African Leadership Group has built and established, but an amazing partner, extremely supportive of the ALG. We have had so many successful events. Brian, it's truly just an honor and a pleasure to have you this morning. We just love being at the Denver Botanic Garden. We love the fact that you gave us the key to that place that became home to us. So we just want to thank you and welcome you. So help me welcome Brian. Brian, the floor is yours.
Papa, thank you so much. It's always great to see you. And I love the context of this conversation because it seems like the next step in the evolution of our relationship. Denver Botanic Gardens has reveled in the partnership we've had with ALG now for a number of years. We are honored that our own institution is seen as a second home for so many members of the community. We have learned so much from you and the entire community. We are so inspired by you and the entire community. And the fact that you are now establishing Leadership Africa here and will be largely housed at the gardens when you're not on a field trip or going to other sites. We are thrilled that people will be able to come here and have great dialogues, learn from one another. And there's nothing that inspires the mind more than just being engaged with nature while you're learning, because it gives you that sense of perspective of something bigger than yourself. And I've been studying leadership for about 40 years now, and my guess is that Papa has been doing, well, he's not that old yet, but he's been doing that most of his life as well. And sometimes people think that when you're in the position, I'll pick on Papa first. When you're in the position Papa's in, and he has such tremendous energy and draws so many people toward him, that they think of him as a natural leader. I certainly think of him as a natural leader. And you wonder, how does that happen? How does somebody become a natural leader? Well, it takes a lot of practice. My guess is that on the playground as a small child, Papa was beginning to learn what it was to lead other people and to try and make things better for other people. And then decade after decade after decade, all of these experiences and learnings have turned Papa into one of the best leaders I've ever met in my life. And I've met amazing leaders, but Papa is a singular talent in this regard. And I want to explore just for a second, if I could, why I think that is. A lot of people are drawn to leadership programs and they want to become a leader for a couple of reasons that don't work. Just I want to throw it out there. First reason is they want to have power over other people. Power is a very different thing than leadership. Power is something often bestowed upon you by a birthright or a title or something that really isn't about your skill set. It's about just being able to wield power over other people, not leadership. It's a totally different thing. A lot of people also want to come in because they want more power over themselves. They want to be able to control their own destinies. And also not a suitable motivation for leadership, because that is something self-focused. And one thing that everyone learns that has worked hard on becoming a worthwhile leader in society is that It has to be focused on the other, not on the self. So a couple of examples of what makes a leader. One is if you're a leader, that means at some point you look around and there's other people there, and they're listening to you and they're following you, and they're helping you understand where everyone should go as a group. And that's a really important thing, because there are a lot of people in our society that we think of as leaders, but there's nobody following them. In fact, they're actually following everybody else. Think of the politician that loves to get in front of a parade because it looks like they're leading when they're not actually changing anything or motivating anybody. But if you just have a lot of people around you and they're all listening to you, enthralled by you, that just means you're charismatic. It doesn't mean that you're actually leading anything. The second step is to actually move the needle on something to make a real difference. If you've been leading for a while and people say, well, what have you and your organization or your community actually accomplished? And you can't tick off 4 or 5 things that you've done together to move the needle. You're not leading. You're just standing still, and you're charismatic and everybody is kind of hovering around you. In order to lead, you have to find the next best step for a group of people to take and help everyone, empower everyone to move in that direction. When you do that, that is leadership. And the best form of leadership is one that is motivated by making the world a better place, by going for the good in society and really for the benefit of others. So the deeper you get into a role of leadership in your life, the less it becomes about you, and the more it becomes about everybody else. And then it just becomes kind of second nature. And so let me close by saying this. There has not been a time in my entire life when we have needed real leaders, compassionate leaders, inspiring leaders, leaders that are outwardly focused more than we need them right now. Throughout the entire planet, we are falling into a time, because of so many circumstances, where we can be taking some very bad turns as a society, and again, globally. So we need people to pull up on the stick. When you're flying a plane, you pull up so you can lift up the plane. We need all of you to think deeply about your role as that pilot who can pull up so that we can take off again as a society and really do right, not only by our current circumstances, but our future as a civilization. That really is going to come to that, and it's going to need all hands on deck. So we are thrilled at the Gardens that ALG and Leadership Africa are still seeing, and I hope for always will see, the Gardens as a great partner in this, because we are here to serve you and your magnificent community. So thank you, Papa.
Thank you, Brian. So, and I told you it was going to be a class for me, because all the things that Brian touched on are so valuable. And for me, being a leader is more like, how do you transform your community? How do you transform the people around you? So but it's not an easy task. So Brian, could you maybe touch a little bit about, because sometimes people will go and get the intellectual knowledge when it comes to leadership. Could you touch the practical piece? And I know you touched on it, but right now, what are the things, people that do not have access to some of these things that we are talking about, where they are at home, where they work at, the friend that they have, what are the basic things they could do to push themselves to have the opportunity to practice and on their way of being a great leader?
Well, I think one of the things you said originally is really critical. You have to know how the world works. And when you're in a brand new world, and American politics are extremely complicated, and seemingly we just make them more and more complicated all the time. You've got to know the lay of the land, who are the players, who's doing what, and then really observe how society is moving, how things are shifting and changing. So you can kind of go on a dual track. One is fundamental knowledge of your community and society that you're in, so that you understand which buttons to push and which levers to pull in order to make a change. But then it's going to be critical to exercise that. You can theoretically understand leadership. You can understand your community and your society and political structures and economic structures and everything else. But if you don't exercise the muscle, you can't evolve as a leader. So I would tell anyone who's joining a leadership program, have something in mind you would like to accomplish. Have a goal, and then see if the experience in the program gives you the opportunity to meet that goal. So maybe you start out small. In the past, I've used examples like, how do you want to increase the amount of recycling in your neighborhood? That would be a great objective. So how do I do that? I need to motivate people. I need to educate people. I need to inspire people. That would be a concrete project you could tackle within your community and then gauge whether or not you were successful. And that's really what all of us have to do. We have to, on a daily basis, say to ourselves, what can I do today to make the world better? And so going into this might be a nice early exercise. What do you want to do? What do you want to do? And if you don't have any idea, okay, but once you're in the program for a while, you got to have some ideas about what you really want to do.
That's great, Brian. Thank you. And we have some people following live on Facebook. If you have some question, just send it through via the chat, and we will read it and try to answer your question. But Brian, we are so excited to be having Leadership Africa at the Denver Botanic Garden. We were there recently, took some pictures. There are a new building at the Denver Botanic Garden. We just want to play some of this video and pictures that we have taken. And if you could just walk through our viewers, the amazing Botanic Garden, the new building, and some of those pictures, so you can see, if you can comment it, the classroom and all those things, that will be excellent. But if you can just maybe explaining the new building that was added at the garden.
Boy, are we excited. We have a brand new Center for Science, Art, and Education, because we really think that all three things have to come together around the world today. Science is a fundamental understanding of the natural processes of the world. Art is that very basic human expression of each other and of the natural environment that we celebrate. Education is how you actually move towards transformation. That leaf, for example, is a combination of all three. It carries elements from our herbaria. It helps people understand native plants, and they can see this beautiful art form all at the same time. This is the new Sturm Family Auditorium, which is one of the most high-tech movie theaters, not to mention great lecture halls in town. I could actually live in that place. It's fantastic. It's acoustically perfect. The sound systems are amazing, and when we can really fill that up, it's going to be a super exciting day. The whole building has 6 classrooms. We have art galleries. We have a library. That's one of the classrooms, the indoor-outdoor classroom, so that we can just open up walls and people can have fresh air and feel safer. If COVID is still around in the spring, let's hope we make progress there. This is in the atrium where people can gather or can sit in between class sessions and just visit with one another, or they can go outside and do the same thing. We even have a brand new coffee shop in the building. Oh, that's my favorite picture. That's Papa celebrating in front of our incredible video wall that is a nature immersion experience that is a 40-foot by 10-foot high definition screen with pictures from all over Colorado. Every time I go in there, people are just standing stunned looking at that wall. And clearly Papa has found his roots up there. It looks great. It's great.
Yeah, Brian. We are, and I'm telling you, if you haven't been to the garden lately, please go and visit the Freya Newman Center building, and we are just so blessed and thankful that we have the opportunity to host Leadership Africa at the Denver Botanic Garden. So Brian, could you now tell a little bit more to our viewers the partnership with the African Leadership Group, hosting Leadership Africa, and all this amazing relationship that we have built, and how the Denver Botanic Garden became the garden for all, and because we feel comfortable there. But if you could touch a little bit about your partnership and collaboration with the African Leadership Group.
Well, we, like every cultural institution probably in the world, we have gone through a tremendous evolution in recent years. I think for a lot of cultural institutions, they have felt like they served a pretty singular community, and they weren't really there for everybody. And one of the things we realized over a decade ago is that for a lot of people in different communities, they never really saw the Botanic Gardens as an outlet for them or a place where they could feel welcome and comfortable, except for maybe school children that would come here for a field trip or something, and they might go home and tell a parent. But we started a very intense inclusion, diversity, equity, and accessibility project about a decade ago. And one of the first things we looked at is what barriers exist for people when it comes to thinking about the gardens. Is it a cost barrier, a transportation barrier? Is it a psychological barrier? And how can we break down all those barriers so that we can really open ourselves up for the entire community, not just a couple of demographic groups? And that has been tremendous, because now, after lots and lots of effort led by people, including you, Papa, who serve on our board, we are seeing people at the gardens that represent the entire population of the 7-county area around Denver, demographically. And we're not just talking about ethnicity here, we're talking about socioeconomic status and age and geography. Gardens are powerful. And especially with COVID, we have learned that people need to be in these natural environments where they can feel safe, but they can feel connected. And they psychologically feel so different after an experience here. And that means it has to be that resource for everybody. So our underlying mission now is to make sure that Denver Botanic Gardens is a garden for all people. And you've helped us make huge progress. We want to keep making progress. But a big part of that has been going out and finding amazing partners out there. And like I say, for years, we've been partnered with the LG, and you have taught us a great deal.
Thank you so much, Brian. And also, I know there's a couple of things happening at the Brian now, the pumpkin thing and the Blossom of Light. And could you tell the community a little bit more? And because I want to make sure they know about it and they get a chance to come and check it out. So if you can tell them the couple of things that's coming up this time of the year.
Oh, well, thank you. We have the corn maze going through October on Fridays, Saturdays, and Sundays at our Chatfield Farms location. That is at C470 in Wadsworth. And you have to get tickets in advance online. And it's a blast, although I'm really bad at it. I've gotten lost for hours in the corn maze. I always hope for short corn so I can see where I'm going, but it's pretty tall this year. And then we have a big pumpkin patch, and just you come in, and again, you register online for admission. If you're a member, you get in free, and then you can go out to the pumpkin patch and hunt for your own pumpkins. And it's really nice. It's open every day while supplies last. And then we have Blossoms of Light at York Street, and we have Trail of Lights at Chatfield Farms coming up in December. It spills into November, into January, but around December. And I know we had a whole contingent from ALG come to Blossoms of Light last year, and it was magnificent. It is just a really uplifting and, again, safe way for a family to have a wonderful time. If you're a member, it's a lot easier because you get first shot at tickets. And we have learned that there isn't much in town for people to do, so that they feel safe doing, so tickets go quickly. But it'll be about a 6-week run at York Street, and you might want to just watch our website. There's about 1 million lights in the show, and it's just beautiful.
That's my favorite event at the garden, and I highly encourage everybody to go check out the Blossom of Light. So, and I know Eve's have some question that members ask, but I'll come to you, Eve. Brian, I have a last question for you, and I guess during this current environment with the pandemic, people are a little bit concerned. Could you share with our viewers the measure and the logistic that the Botanic Garden have taken and is taking to make sure that people are safe and they can visit, but don't worry about some of the other stuff, especially regarding the virus and the pandemic?
Well, you know, it's all about everybody pitching in and doing their part. So the staff, every day that they come to work, they have their temperature taken. We always wear masks, except when we're in a locked office like I am right now. And we have hand washing stations, hand sanitizer. We do social distancing. We have limited numbers that can come in, and it's dramatically lower than what we did last year, for example. But that's because we want people to feel like they can socially distance successfully. And so everybody has to buy tickets either for daily admission or for events online. If you're a member and you want to just come visit the gardens, you still have to register. It doesn't cost you anything, but you still have to register. And then you check in outdoors. You're outdoors most all the time. We do have our art galleries in the Frere Newman Center open now, but those are controlled entries so that you're just in there with a few other people and you can walk through in a very safe manner. So we're doing absolutely everything by CDC and state of Colorado protocols, because we want this to be a great experience for people, but also a safe experience for people.
Thank you so much, Brian. And yes, if you just join us, you are with the African Leadership Group talking about our Leadership Africa that we are getting ready to launch, and very happy to have a partnership with the Denver Botanic Garden. That's where we're going to be launching it. And you visit our website at usalg.org for more information. So Eve have received some questions from the community regarding the program, and I wanted to give us the opportunity to answer those questions. So if you could read those questions and answer it for our viewers understand what the program is about.
Sure. First of all, thank our community members for joining us and interested in this program and in applying for it. I know this is the first of many more to come, and we thank you for being our experiment and joining us. So here are following some questions that we received from the community, and we are trying to answer your questions here. The first question is, what are the requirements to apply for this course? There is no specific requirements. However, we are looking for people who are willing to give back to the community and has a history of giving back to the community and is willing and will be able to commit to a 9-month program since the January of 2020. The question 2, who is eligible to take this course? On your website, it states the course is ideal for professionals. What does it mean? Well, it is geared towards people that are professionals on the professional career path, or for those who aspire to become a professional in their given field. So I hope this answers your question. And the third question, I just completed the ALG Leadership 101 course. Would you consider that as a prerequisite for being accepted into the program? Well, we certainly encourage everyone has graduated from the ALG Leadership 101 course to apply. However, there is an age restriction of 18 and plus. Some our members are great youth leaders that are aspiring to be a great leader in the community, as well as being a professional leader. We encourage you to apply once you reach the age of 18. So what is the class size? We will cap our first Leadership Africa at a 25 max class size, considering the COVID environment and our, this is the first class of Leadership Africa. Fifth question, how do you determine who gets admitted to the course? Is it first come, first serve? Is there a selection committee? Do I have to write an essay? Do I need a recommendation? How do you judge the criteria? Well, this, I will direct Papa for this question. Papa?
Yes, so, and what was the question, Eve? Read it one more time for me, please.
How do you determine who gets admitted to this course? Is there Is it
Yeah.
first come, first serve, or is there a committee that select the participant? Do I have to write an essay? Do I need recommendations? How do you judge the criterias?
Yes, yes. A part of the, and that's a very good question. First and foremost, there's a committee that's in charge of Leadership Africa doing the interview. But part of the application, we ask of two recommendation. If you can get letter, that's great. But we just want to have two referral that we could call and just do a reference check. But there will be an interview session by a committee that's going to be interviewing you. And from there, they're going to make the selection. So if you have letter of recommendation, it's great. It's not mandatory, but we ask for reference check, two of them. So I hope it answered the question, Eve.
Thank you, Papa.
You're welcome.
So next question is, on the website, it states tuition may be paid by an employer or a personal sponsor as a professional development investment. Will this course meet my employer's criteria for tuition and reimbursement? I think this is very depend on your employer. However, we do offer a scholarship, and I want to note that we have a upcoming scholarship and financial aid workshop coming. Please check our website event page for more detailed information. Next question, during COVID-19, will the class be virtual or social distance in person? If in person, where will the class be held? Class will be a virtual and in-person hybrid. In-person classes will be held at the beautiful Denver Botanic Gardens. The dates are still uncertain, but we will publish them onto our website as soon as we have them. And we will practice all social distancing and COVID-19 health and safety procedures. Another person has asked, how can Leadership Africa help me in my professional life? Our answer is that to help you manage effectively and be a key decision maker if you are in a leadership position, and then we can help identify your leadership style through a professional test, and also help your self-awareness and build your self-confidence as a leader. We are getting more questions through email and calls, and we want to answer all of your questions. So if you want to chat in your questions, please do email us or call us, our office number, and then we will have our program facilitators, 303-862-4062. Our program facilitators will be able to answer curricular questions that are decided in the coming month. So more detailed will be published on our website. So follow us on Facebook, go to our event page, follow us on Twitter, Instagram. It will more information will come. Please join us on Friday, October 16th, the office hour. We are ready to take your calls, as well as Wednesday, October 21st, the financial aid and scholarship workshop. If these times don't work for you, please email us or call the number that is shown on the screen. And we will be able to make an appointment to answer any questions that you still have.
Thank you so much, Eve. There were very, very good question. And so please, if you have a question that we did not get to answer, please reach out, stop by the office, or you can call us. But in the meantime, if you said, you know what, I need to brush up on my skill set, we have the next public speaking class that's starting on October 27. So if you want to just sharpen your skill before you get to Leadership Africa, and you can get more information on our website. So Brian, I want to come back to you and ask for your last word, but as a community, we cannot thank you enough for your partnership and support, and it goes back to many years. And please, community members, I highly, highly encourage all of you to go visit the Denver Botanic Garden. It's just a beautiful, beautiful venue because it's right in Denver, and when you drive by it, you don't think how big it is or think, but when you go inside, it's just beautiful. So Brian, last word for you to our viewers and community members.
Well, my last word is thank you to you and the entire community. We are so honored to partner with you. We have been from the very beginning. We need the world to be better, and we all need to make progress. And even with personal struggle, the fact that people are thinking outside of their immediate concerns about everybody else's concerns as well, the entire community, we're in this together and we all have to be doing our part. And so we're just honored and we're grateful and we're extremely excited to see all these leaders who are coming forward and to see where we head in the future. It's going to be bright. It's going to be bright.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Brian. And we definitely need leaders like you in our community also to just give us hope. And as a community, I think one of the main things we always needed is a venue, a place that we could call home. And the Denver Botanic Garden has become home for us for all the event and Africa Impact. And we are coming back 2021, Africa Impact 2021 at the Denver Botanic Garden. More information to come, but the only way we can do all this is because of your great partnership and support. So we want to thank you. We want to thank our viewers. And again, if you have any questions, just follow up. But I want to thank the entire African Leadership Group team for the amazing work. All these things, we can do it for the community because of your support also and your heart. So we want to thank you, Brian. We'll be in touch. Good to see you, but please take some time to rest and enjoy your weekend also. Thank you all. We'll see you soon. Thank you so much for joining us.
Bye-bye. See you.
Okay. Thank you, Brian. Bye.
And we are not getting many more questions right now. So I'll just say to our followers and communities, members that are interested in this program, to chat in your questions through Facebook, email us on info@aog.org, and just shoot us a text or email or call us at this number that's shown on our website. We will get back to you for all of your questions that you have about this program. Thank you for joining us today, and this concludes our info session for Leadership Africa, and I will see you soon.
Thank you all.